Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, if you have any stake in the Phoenix housing market, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, you're going to want to pay attention. The brand new September 2025 numbers are out, and we are about to break down exactly what they mean for prices, for inventory, and for the whole vibe of the market.
So what's the big headline coming out of Phoenix right now? It's not the boom or bust stuff you might be seeing elsewhere. Really, the one word you need to know is balance. That crazy wild ride from the last few years, it's over. And what's taking its place is something that feels a whole lot healthier and, frankly, more sustainable.
Okay, so what does balance actually look like when you put a number on it? Well, let's kick things off with prices. We're seeing the median home price holding really steady, which is exactly the kind of stability this market has desperately needed.
Next up, inventory. And wow, this is a big one. The number of homes for sale has absolutely surged. And that, my friends, is a total game changer for buyers. I mean, for the first time in what feels like forever, you have actually got choices.
And what about the pace of the market? Well, it's like a whole different universe out there now. Homes are sitting just a bit longer, and you know what that means. That frantic pressure to make a split-second decision, it's just gone. You can finally breathe and actually think things through.
So you've got these three big pieces, right? Stable prices, more homes to choose from, and a slower pace. So how do they all fit together? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, and we'll start by digging a little deeper into pricing.
All right, Section 1, pricing. The big idea here is that the market has found its footing. We're talking about a plateau, not a free fall.
Okay, let's look at the hard numbers. The median sales price in September hit $450,000 on the dot. But check out the average price. It's way up there at over $575,000. Now, what does that big gap tell you? It tells us the high-end, luxury side of the market is still very active, and it's pulling that overall average up.
And if we zoom out and look at the year-over-year picture, we're seeing a modest 2.3% increase in that median price. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much compared to the wild double-digit jumps we saw a few years back, but that's actually great news. It's a huge sign of a much more stable, healthier market.
And this is exactly what we mean when we say a controlled adjustment. The market has cooled off from that absolute peak back in 2022, for sure, but it hasn't fallen off a cliff. Not at all. Instead, it's like it found a comfortable new cruising altitude, supported by real things like a strong job market and people continuing to move to Phoenix.
Okay, let's move on to the next chapter of this story, which is all about inventory and pace. This is really where you can see cause and effect playing out in real time.
Now, this is probably the most dramatic shift we've seen. Get this, over 24,000 homes were for sale in September. That is a 24% jump from just 1 year ago, and believe me, that has totally changed the game for anyone out there looking to buy.
And this quote from the report just says it all. Buyers now have more options than at any time in recent years. Think about that. Those days of getting into crazy bidding wars for the one or two houses available, they're over. Now you can actually be selective and find the right home, not just any home. So, it's a pretty simple question, right? What happens when you give buyers a ton more choices and take away all that high-stakes pressure? Well, the result is exactly what you'd expect. The whole pace of the market changes. And here's the proof in the pudding. The median time a home stays on the market has stretched to 65 days. That's up 27% from last year. That feeling of urgency is just gone. And for buyers, patience is no longer just a virtue, it's a powerful strategic advantage. We can see this trend in another key metric too, months of supply. We're now sitting at just over 4 months' worth. Now, a perfectly balanced market, that sweet spot, is usually somewhere between 5 and 6 months. So, as you can see, we are steadily marching in the right direction.
Okay, so let's get practical. What does all this actually mean for your strategy? Because let's be real, the playbook that worked a couple of years ago, you can just throw that out the window. It's time for a new one.
All right, let's break this down. If you're a buyer, the message is simple. You have leverage now. You can take your time, you can negotiate on things like repairs, or even ask for concessions to help with your closing costs. The focus for you should be on finding true value. Now for sellers, it's a different story. You've got to price your home realistically right from day one. And with all this competition, making your home look absolutely perfect isn't just a good idea, it's essential. You have to be flexible and ready to negotiate.
So let's bring it all together in our conclusion. The big picture outlook for Phoenix is one of balance. We're talking about a much healthier, more sustainable market taking shape.
Really, the key themes today are all about this massive shift. We're moving from volatility to stabilization. We're going from scarcity to actual choice for buyers. We're trading frantic speed for thoughtful strategy. And overall, we're seeing balance win out over the extremes of the past.
And what does this all lead to? A balanced market is emerging. And, this creates brand new opportunities for everybody involved. This is a market that rewards being smart and making thoughtful decisions, not just fast ones.
So that really leaves us with one final thought. In a market that's now defined by balance, the big question is, how are you going to adjust your strategy to win? Because adapting these new rules is the key to achieving your goals.
Listen, if you want to dive even deeper into all this data or get some guidance that's tailored specifically to you, make sure you visit phoenixhomes.com to see the full report. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.